Hi, my name is Dr. Tred and I am a doctor, the client, and the owner at my Slim Body Laser Spa. So one of the questions we get a lot of in our consultations is, will the fat come back? Does it come back? It's such a great question. It's so common. And one of the concerns I have is that maybe you don't really understand why we have fat, how fat, it doesn't just appear. Fat is given to you by your maker to preserve your life in case you run out of food someday. You know, it's accumulative, and it's part of life. It's part of breathing. It's part of walking, running, eating food. Your body also will always make fat. And to think that you could turn off the switch or eat something that's going to prevent you from ever making extra body fat would be contrary to your body's natural process, and it would not be a very good idea. So with that said, yes, the laser reduces the fat in the outer compartment just like liposuction does, just like the fat freezing and like all the other processes. And what happens is our laser lipo shrinks and reduces the fatty compartment, the subcutaneous fat compartment. It basically drains off the fatty acids, but it doesn't damage the tissue in the same time. So once you might lose 4 to 5 inches of outside fat from the laser, those fat cells are smaller and they're not filled with fluid, but they can be repopulated if you overeat again. Now, that seems like a bummer. But the truth is, the other process, sucking fat out, destroying it with cold air or heat, removes the fatty tissue. The fatty tissue is gone because it's killed. And then what happens is if you fall out of your habits, which a lot of people do, it doesn't go back to that area. It grows in weird, funky areas. And we call it fat migration or fat relocation. And it's one of the major side effects of fatty tissue removal. So if you think sucking out your fat, removing fat is a better suggestion than just shrinking it naturally, you're very mistaken. Because fat migration is so common that many states now require that the doctors make a statement about the risk of fat relocation. And another part about when you remove fat, instead of just shrinking it, you affect your hormonal profile. Your fat cells is part of the endocrine system, and they're as important as your thyroid gland, your adrenal gland, your hormonal glands that support your hormones, your pituitary. And you wouldn't do anything to disrupt those hormones by taking away those cells. Yet your hormonal system is also your fat cells, and your body knows how many fat cells you have and the importance of them. And when you remove tissue, like with liposuction or fat freezing or anything which destroys the fat, you run a huge risk of having hormonal imbalances, and the body in its wisdom will try to repopulate in other areas. And we see it a lot. So the Slim Body Laser Spa, we are not destroying the fatty tissue. We're using a laser to shrink, to basically drain off the fatty acid naturally by using the laser and whole body vibration. And then what happens is, as long as you don't overeat, you're not going to make outside fat. The fat is made internally first in your visceral system. Once the viscera gets filled to a point where you can't put any more calories, then it goes to the outer layer. And there's lots of time and lots of warnings and lots of things you can do to see if that's happening, by checking your weight, by looking at your waist size. If it starts to accrete back, we suggest getting back into the gym. If the gym doesn't work, you need to start dieting again. And if the dieting in the gym isn't working, you can come back into the spa and we can repeat the procedure safely, sanely. And you know, when they come back, it usually takes half the amount of sessions that it did when they first started. So I hope that answers your question. Where does the fat, does it come back? Only if you maintain the right proper exercise and habits after the process, no, the fat will not come back. And that's my answer to that question. If you're interested in a free consultation, my website is Dr. Treds Slim Body Laser Spa. There's a contact page. Put in your name, your email, your information. We'll send out a request, or you can also look at some of the before and after pictures. And of course, my consultations are always free. If you don't live in the Stuart area, you can do a free one-on-one with Skype, or we can talk on the phone and see if it's something that we can help you with. All right? Thank you so much, and thank you for allowing me to answer that question.